Kachiambada moja ke kolonia wao. Wekwande bajewe wao. Wekwande bajewe wao. Asa rabadi oluwa wao. Natane raba oluwa wao. Oluwa wao jọba ibo oluwa wao. Wekwande bajewe wao. No se cao, de no y se cao. Monde, me cuando va que va, pica, suave. Marina mo, toke toma, imane kari, made. Abe adoye una duo pare abija, wela banyo so de boje so papi me o. Yabe yibe de papi o. Siba abu de papi o. Olu jebe de papi o. Kele ali no banyo so de papi o. Jamais des bonnes mots. Il doit noter des bonnes mots. Des maris qui chloromie des bonnes mots. Et à eux, j'ai rôti de ouais, le gars. À ces mots, pour le jardin de ouais, le vieux. So, adieu, ouais. Susana Spoti, yekele tabi apaluo. Sabe de elo, reposa, ajamo jamai. Nyok ma blenyo atie mo blenyo awe. Atodui, yekele bi apaluo. Federa mo we wo, federa mo we wo. Begina ona begigo nyao.
karema tipi enana monyo kabora kanama ye karema tipi enana sono sere kanama pale kwekuna inana para mwaki kanama baye jehova sogo zakati ko para monyo baso lokuru bi baso zakati ko para monyo baso tumo wana para tumo wana orope otasingo tumo wana para mwaki tumo wana moye bobore gala Onana ayama lokolo mwane sikulo mwa yepoza ne kripu ya moreu lokolo tolie bolu suku ogere yo omo ya lokolo gete swalo idoro.
Good evening, folks. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again for tuning in to LIBERIA Public Radio. We're going to be rocking this afternoon, but I'm not too sure what is going on with me either. My attending the day. I don't know what happened. Somebody not about me again this evening. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. Folks, we're going to be out here. No, seriously, I'm not too sure. Anyway, folks, let me be right back. I'll be right back.
You will not disrespect not disrespect, because I will on don't we not build it, but we can make it happen. We not millionaire, but we can keep it popping. We not build it, we can make it happen. We not millionaire, but we can keep it popping. Alcohol.
Again, folks, Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again. Those of you that are tuning in, we say thank you very much. We appreciate it. Let's get it going here this afternoon. It's a wonderful thing to be on here again this evening. And we're going to be rocking it all the way, folks. There's no joke around there tonight. First of all, I want to say one or two things here before going on. First thing is this. I want to thank my daughter, Madam Josephine Cripois. What she has done for me is just wonderful. I'm not going to tell you what she did, but she knows what she did. Thank you, Madam Cry. We appreciate it. And I also want to say here, happy birthday to my own wife. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman. Of course, yesterday was her birthday, and also was the anniversary. 18 years together, rocking and rock out here and black out, everything. But thank God we have four beautiful kids. The other one, I don't count her anymore because she's married. What am I got? That's not our child anymore. She's gone out of the house, so I don't count her that much. By the way, she's still my daughter. So, but we've been blessed, and we say thank God that we continue to live, and thank God that we're here. Again, honey, happy birthday, Samson told LIBERIA. Let's get it going, folks. Okay, let me start, folks. As usual, when I start with Dr. Weir. There's no question asked. Folks, we all know this is the President of the Republic of Liberia. My understanding that he's most likely going to be in the United States very shortly. We're not too sure, but hopefully when he gets here, maybe he would ask for Samson Toe to see if Samson Toe can interview him. And I'm going to be fair. And respectful, of course, as usual. So I hope, Dr. Weir, if you're listening and if you're able to get a glimpse of my podcast, give me a call. We will talk to you, and we would like to talk to you, Samson Toe. But I'm very serious, and that's Dr. Weir. Let me go on to my next video, that I always play for Dr. Weir. And again, this is to show Dr. Weir during the campaign, and he was walking in the mud. But my problem within the last month or so, this particular area remained the same. So I'm playing it. Hopefully I can remind the president to say, Mr. President, you were once at this particular location. Is that location been fixed? If not, Mr. President, what can we do as Liberian together with you as our leader? What can we do to have it fixed? That's the kind of question we all need to ask. What can we do? Not what can you do, or what haven't you done there? Why did you do that? No, it's what we, the Liberian people, can do with him as our leader, guiding us. This is how we're going to get things going. Samson told Liberian Public. Let me play the video, folks.
Just make sure you do that same thing for you can hold. That will hold the stage. I don't need show the road, you must stay. What kind of junior not there before? No, I beg you. Man, the German system will live over. I think it's finished. Salome said, not done. Let's make sure you do that same thing for you so you can hold.
There you have it, folks. Samson told Liberia Public Radio. We want to again say thank you very much for watching. We say stay with us. We're going to be rocking it tonight. Yeah, the show tonight is about the war crime issues in Liberia. The people are all over. This thing is getting heavy. It's getting heavy. What happening now, but it's coming. It's coming. And my question that I keep asking my brothers and sisters is that are we ready? Are we prepared? That is the question. Are we ready? Is that something we can deal with as Liberians? This is you can say, oh yeah, the people committed crimes. Like we need to find out those who are responsible need to be prosecuted. Samson told. And I say, yes, you're right, quite correct. Those who are responsible must be prosecuted. Those who are responsible, those who committed crimes against our brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, must be responsible, must be held to pay. The question is, are we ready? Are we ready to deal with something like that? And that's what I'm going to be talking about here tonight, because I'm having some strong feeling that we're not quite ready, my people. We can fool ourselves, say, oh, we're going to have it. What I mean we're not ready, it's not that the judicial system is not going to be able to handle it. That's not the main concern, even though it's part of it. But are we ready in terms of information, in terms of information gathering, in terms of prosecution, witnesses, and all the kinds of stuff that are involved in preparing a case? Are we ready? Are we ready? Folks, this for me, to be honest with you, there's nothing now to stop it though. We Samson can stay here and say, are we ready? Or what have the train is up. For the three lawmakers signed for war economic crime court quite recently. Okay, it's an interesting thing. These are legislatures that are clamoring for this thing. And even those that perhaps you might think say those people are going to be afraid, they are also calling for war crime court. But then the question that I'm asking is, are we ready? Are we prepared? I'll give you an example, folks. Just, those of us that like to be on the social media, we read every day. We go on platform, listen to people, commentators and what have you. We listen. So yesterday I was going through some perusing on Facebook, and I came across this, and I'm not going to call name here because that's not what I'm about to do. But what I'm about to discuss is the kinds of conversation that was happening yesterday. Okay? So yesterday, some guy put up a picture of a gentleman who also happened to be a member of the CDC government and called the person rebel. And then the light went out on the switchboard on this guy's page. And the argument brothers and sisters was making was, this guy, is it now time that you're going to call him rebel? Don't you know that this guy helped to save you to be who you are today? When people were here killing us, this guy was fighting for us. And then the other side, the other switchboard went off, saying you guys should be ashamed of yourself. This guy committed heinous crimes against Liberians. And because you think he's from your tribe or from your section, now you want to defend him? This man has committed crimes. Now you're going to call him a defender. You're going to call him a hero. And I was just reading the thing. I mean, it was very interesting. And then, of course, 2 weeks or so ago, I did a similar show. And I also argued as to whether we were ready. But when I started reading those comments yesterday, some were being quite rude. Those I disregarded those things because they were not speaking the kind of language that I would want to read. But there were few of those comments that were very interesting. And this guy that posted this thing, he wasn't rude to anybody. You bring something, he bring it back in. He said, yes, he's my countryman, but he committed crimes, and he will be held to be paid. He should pay for it. And then people were writing. When the man was here sacrificing his life, fighting so you will survive. He wasn't criminal then. Now that he made you to survive, now you think he's a criminal. He said yes, but the man committed crimes against other Liberians, and then other people came up. Say, you guys should be ashamed. This one person continued to put the whole group, the entire county, on defense. To be honest with you, you guys should be ashamed of yourself. This guy, yeah, you think he was helping you and carrying, defending you, but in the process, he killed innocent Liberians. So he must be called to give an account of his activities. And people would know. This guy was a hero. You can't call him up. And I'm thinking to myself, as I was reading, we're not quite ready. We're not quite ready, folks. The point that I'm trying to make here is this. Those who are responsible, those who you might consider being responsible for crime against Liberians, where do you start? Where do you end? My hero of yesterday is your criminal of today. People that we were reverenced at that time to be our hero, the savior, fighting to save a particular group or a section. And in the process, people die. And now, those people will be asked to give an account. And if their account does not jive with whatever the criminal law is set for this particular war crime code that is coming, that person might be in jeopardy. Are we ready? Are we ready? As people, are we ready? How do we go about selecting those who committed crimes anyway? So, of course, you're going to have to find evidence. You're going to put evidence together. Who's going to compile those evidence against certain group? Are we ready? Let's just take, for example, crime against Prince Johnson. I mean, who's going to be one on the panel to put crimes, to put those things together for taking Prince Johnson to the court? Is the government, Republic of Liberia, going to compile those evidence? What process are they going to go through to get those evidence? Will Prince Johnson be given the opportunity to defend himself? What would be his defense? Folks, this is going, and here's the thing here. This is going to be very interesting. This is going to be very interesting. Except for those who might not obey. Then they might have issues. Those who are going to say, you know what, I don't care to answer to anybody, do whatever you want to do. Yes. But if people who are willing, those who will be coming and trying to be truthful, how will you deal with that? Like, take for example, the war started in 1989. What happened? How did it come about? Hello? Okay, I think I'm still audible. It says except. Okay, my audio is okay. We're still here. Yeah, testing. Okay. So anyway, let me go on. How did the war come about? Where did it start? Do you go back to 18-something? Do you go back to the 30s? Do you go back to the 40s? Do you go back to the 20s? Where do we start this process? So you're going to start from 1989. So you start from 89. Are you going to say because Charles Taylor broke jail in Massachusetts, Charles Taylor and How he was transported back to Africa, we don't know. I don't know. But transported, they sent him back to Africa. Whoever sent him back to Africa, he did. So, got to Africa. Folks, I'm not too sure why my stuff is not, I'm not hearing myself, and my system is prone to not having audio. So let me turn to another process here, please. Just bear with me. Okay. It's a very interesting topic here tonight, and I will hope that after our commentary, that people will be able to call in and give their view and make their point. And then we know we're here to respect everybody's view. There's nobody here have manipulate over anything here. Nothing. Far from it. Far from it. Okay. Okay. No, I can't do that. I'm still audible. So, but I'm trying to, because this other one is killing me here. It's not doing something for me. Samson to LIBERIA Public. Okay. All right. That is not doing anything for me whatsoever. So let's go on here. Let's get it out. Let's put that on. Okay. Hopefully that. Okay. We're connected. Okay. All right. So let's continue talking. Okay. The both of them are dead. My goodness. Okay, I think I'm still audible because I can see the. Okay. Yes, I am. All right. So let's continue on. So anyhow, where do we start? From 79? Why can't we go back to 1980? In fact, why can't we go back to Saistown War? Because I have a pamphlet here, a whole booklet that talk about the way the Southeastern were treated. I have all of that. Do we start from there? Okay. So you say no. We want to start from what the evidence we have on hand. Why didn't you compile evidence those days? Those who were murdered at the time, were they not Liberian as well? Where do we start? You're talking about economic crimes. Do you go back and try to gather everybody that worked for Judy Brown, whatever his name is, the interim government? Do you go from there? Or do you go and get people that used to work for Charles Taylor that are rich today? Do you go after those people as well? Where do you start and where do you stop? It's going to be interesting. And I'm sure Liberia have answer for that. But my point tonight is this. I'm not too sure if we're quite ready. I'm not too sure. Because if we were serious, all of these people that are advocating for this war crime court, I've not seen any kinds of process where divide yourself into two groups. One is strictly responsible for educating, informational purpose, educating Liberians on what to expect and what are the norms, how to go about it. Because Liberians are not quite familiar with these kinds of stuff. And the other process, the other group goes about trying to advocate for the war crime court. I'm sure it's going to happen. People have been talking about it. People have been writing about it. And it's getting hectic recently. But what is the information that we're passing on to our brothers and sisters? Folks, this is going to be very, very, very traumatic. Because in one village, you have people who consider them hero. In that same village, that same person can be considered murderer because he killed other people, relatives, in that same village. In that same village. Let alone getting outside. Then if you move outside of the village, he becomes a defender of that village against the incoming group. So then they go back. Well, you killed my people. I'm coming to kill your people. And then go and have folks, this thing is, if you've been talking about this thing like I have, you will understand that these things are not something to just rush into. It's not something to just rush into. If we don't plan correctly, this thing gonna wreck us again. Just from the little stuff that I was reading yesterday, where people were considering certain individual as their leader, as their hero, while others were condemning him. And this is just one section. How do we go about it? I would genuinely like to have this thing, come and let's talk about it. But how do we go about it? How? I'm still trying to rack my brain here. How do we go about it? Okay. Another thing. Okay. Let me read. 43 of the 73 representatives have so far affixed their signature. Okay, 43 of them. Okay, but the one that I want to talk about, 43 of them, they already did. Okay, and this story has come from Daily Observer. But here's another one, interesting one here. This lady, Representative Dennis, with her, she's not even pulling punches, folks, on this at all. She won the war crime court yesterday. Not forget today. Okay, she won it yesterday because she believed, okay, that once oppressed will always be oppressed, and she's trying to say this is wrong. They're not coming back on me again. Okay, all right. But anyway, I have the story here. She continued to say this is wrong, and even my own friend and brother, Dr. Bole, has agreed he's in favor of the war crime court. Okay, so I'm saying, and Dr. Bole, he had issue with the situation here in the United States that he has to be asked to leave because of his involvement in the war. And then that based on that he was not, according to them, that he was not truthful in submitting immigration papers. Okay, now these people like Dr. Bole, people like Prince Johnson, all of those people, how did they get involved? I told you guys here the last time. I know Dr. Bole. I know him well. When he came back in 1977, I believe, when he came to Montreal, he was working with Madame Exango. I was there, office boy, little kid. I never saw any type of violent instances in him. During the April 14, he was arrested. And I saw him. When they took him downstairs, he was arrested. Okay? Because they say he was involved in the power movement or what have you. Okay? But that's not the point here. How did Dr. Bole get involved? Are we willing? Are we truly, truly willing to listen to these people? Why an educated person like Dr. Bole will want to be involved in the destruction of other lives, as he's been accused or has been alleged by other people? If the allegation, if they are true, why are we ready to get involved in that kinds of messy situation? I'm not asking this to frighten you or to dissuade you from having this. You know our people. You know Liberian. First thing, why if jealousy sit in? Somebody's working or doing good in the community. Oh, the person got all that money because he used to fight war. They put you on a list. How do you defend against that? Who has the power? Where is the power to arrest war criminal or war crime perpetrator? Who has the power? Is that part of the Constitution? Because the whatever that happened at the time, the crimes that were committed, whatever crime that was committed, I don't believe those crimes were part of the Constitution to say, for example, if I go to Liberia right now and kill anybody, the Constitution has something in there for me. But why there is war, that we all of us, every Liberian agree that there is war, and something happened, God forbid, that I kill somebody, what ground now are you calling me on? You're going to pass that. You're going to pass 1 minute. Liberian want to be sovereign. There's a sovereign state. But when it comes to that, when it comes to the criminal or international law, then you say, okay, international community, you take it over. How do we go about this? Are we going to apply the TRC ruling? And remember now, TRC was set up to recommend at the end of the day, was set up to forgive at the end of the day based on information being provided by individuals that were called. I don't believe there's certain thing in a TRC to say these are the processes you're going to go through to prosecute somebody. Folks, I'm not a lawyer. I need a lawyer to help me out here this afternoon, please. But I really like to know, how do you prosecute somebody who has committed crime during the war? Are you going to apply the international standard? And if so, who among us that will accept Liberia Constitution to be superseded by international standard? Folks, am I making sense? Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. But let's just look at this. Let's just look at this. Let's just look. I'm just being very pragmatic here this afternoon. Folks, I'm being very, very honest, to be honest with you. How do we go about this? You got people, oh, we want war crime court. Yeah, we want economic court. Yeah, I agree, because these people have done some nasty thing. But where do we start? Where do we end? Who are those that are responsible for this war anyway? Samson told, because during the war, I was involved in collecting money to buy food for my brothers and sisters that was stranded in the barracks. BTC. By me feeding these people to help to feed them in there, as a result, they also have the ability to defend themselves, as I would say. For me, they are defenders. For you, they are criminals. How do we go about having the bridge? Folks, and you sit here and think that this thing going to be an easy task? First of all, it's going to cost money. It's going to cost money to set these things up. The sad thing is, you have other brothers and sisters that are walking in the street of Monrovia, seeing the perpetrators of some of the heinous crimes against them and their relatives, seeing them passing by each other, and there's nothing they can do. How do you then square with those people, the victim? The victim. Because there were some innocent people that have nothing to do with the war, that have nothing to do with Dole, government, army, tailor, printer, nothing. Yet still, they were killed. How do we deal with those kinds of stuff? By you bringing these things up, are you guaranteeing the victim that at the end of the day there will be justice? Why, if there was not justice to their satisfaction, how do you deal with it? How do you go about talking to these people, explaining to them based on the law, this person that you have accused and this person that you're quite sure is involved, based on the law, this person is not guilty? Would the victim be able to accept that? It's going to cost money, one thing. And I see Liberian right now, I don't think they're ready for any other violence. But if the intent of the war crime to somehow bring satisfaction and justice to those, justice for the victims, satisfaction for the victims, and then perpetrator must be punished. But here, perpetrator, punishment, victim, satisfaction. You see my hand, how wide open? How do you cross that bridge? Because in order for somebody, you can't come out and tell me, say, oh, well, just go ahead. We know the people that did it. We know they did it. So where is there to argue? When they did it, we saw them. We saw the people killing. They just get, no. Liberia is a rule of law now. It's not during the Civil War time. So every little piece of evidence must be produced in a court of law. And these people that are going to be accused must be given the opportunity to defend themselves. And then, like I said, I just saw the snippet of it yesterday. So let's go back to my own friend, Dr. Bole. What was he doing? LPRC or something like that. But my understanding, and I could be wrong because I wasn't there, and I've not had any kinds of conversation with Dr. Bole about this. In fact, I've only met Dr. Bole one time since I believe it was 1983 in Canton. And I met him last year in Liberia. We met in a store, and we talked for maybe 2-3 minutes the most. And none of these subject matter came up. Anyway, but my understanding that he has to put people together, put a group together to defend a specific area of our county. Because they felt within themselves, according to the story, that the county was being devastated by the rebel, they call them. The people you call rebel, they are freedom fighters for the others. This is going to be, one of the things is, this is going to expose us as Liberian. Here's the, you stay here, you stay on this line, and you're genius. You fall on this side, and you're crazy. You stay on this side, and you're not nothing. But here's the middle point here. And that this particular issue here going to expose us as to whether we Liberians do have the ability to actually have these kinds of conversation without precondition or anything else. Let's just start from fresh. Let's see who's wrong. Do we have the abilities? Are we going to go through the traditional way of trying to settle issues? Where somebody died, or somebody, for example, you go hunting and you shoot somebody in a town or from a town and the person died. Well, when you come back, before they used to go take people to Zredru and take people to Zretan because those are the quick place. They take you to Zretan, they take you to Zredru. Next thing you go to Montreal, from Montreal to Bellayala, and you're done. Samson, I'm just telling you. But those days, that some of the things that I heard, those things when they happen, they call family together. I say, what happened? And the person, based on the information he's going to provide, will allow the victim family to say this person did not do it intentionally. Because there are those who will commit those kinds of crime because of woman issue. And if the community found you guilty, they got a way of punishing you. So the point that I'm trying to make here this afternoon, what process are we going to use? You say, okay, then we say, well, our people, you don't go to the criminal justice. Okay. You go over there, these people, you know how long it took Charles Taylor trial? The international community were flipping the money or the LIBERIA paying. Now, all of these people that perhaps you might be calling, they're going to be entitled to defend. They're going to have lawyers. And here's some of the things. Are these people going to remain in jail until the process is over? Aha. What if those people that perhaps might be free until during the process, why if they are fright raped? You say, oh, the person going to run away. Where's he going to go? Aha. So you say, okay, this person, maybe we're going to seize we're going to, whatever bonding process we have, they're going to use this property and that property. You know how many people you're going to call? Folks, this is deeper. What I'm just trying to challenge you in my own weak way. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm trying to challenge you to understand, to go deeper than that, than just say we want it. We all want it. We all want it. And we want it to be successful. So if the people were tried and not found guilty, is there any second trial? Can the government proceed with another trial? What if the person is found guilty and they say, no, I'm not satisfied with it? Do they have any other recourse? Or this is it? Have we set that to say, after this process, you're done? If you're found guilty, you're gone. If you're not found guilty, you're out. Is that how we're going to set it up? Folks, this is so usually I come out here and I stay here for some time, but I thought I would like to open the line up here very quickly for people to give me their own view, because it's very important that we have these kinds of conversations, because this is very interesting. There's so many people right now that are calling for this process, hoping. I myself, I will be happy to have that, because I'm also hoping that after this process we will have some closure. You know how many people? Okay, here, let me tell you one thing again. I'm from Town, Grand Union County, Republic of Liberia. No, let me start all over. I'm from Town, B.I. Clan, B.I. Chidom, Basson District, Grand Union County, Republic of Liberia, West Africa, the world. Okay. Well, anyway, let me show you this. Let me just tell you this. So growing up in Totem, we have layers of crowd. I have my own crowd. Those who and I were about the same age group. And then immediately next to us, we have another crowd. Those that was about the same age group, maybe about 2 or a year, 2, younger than us. And then above us, we have people about the same age group that was. So we it's not like we walk in group. Okay, the people on top of us, they mistreat us. Then we grab the young people too and mistreat them. For example, I have some guy who's above me. When he read it, he says, something kind of hair. I go there, he says, show me your hair. Then I show my hair. You want to type a letter on my hair, to type this letter to go to Monrovia, because he had a complaint. And I show my hair. Then he start with totem conking. You know what, Liberia, when they say conking, that, knocking your hair, he typing. We're conking my hair. By the time he done with Grand Union County, my hair hating already. But I dare not fight him. First of all, if I fight him, he will flog me because he older me. And so we go down the line. But the point that I'm trying to make here is this. My group, fine, a lot of people didn't get killed. But the group that immediately next to us, if you count, I've counted them the last time, there were about 20, 21 of them. And right now, you know how many of them left alive? I think the last time I counted about 3 of them left alive. The rest of them not dying from illness. They died during the war. And some of them died nasty death. Some fought and died. But that whole group in the village of Town, that whole group, about 2 or 3 alive today as we speak. And not that they died of sickness or they died of any other disease. Died from the war. Those people, some of their parents, the trauma was so much, they didn't survive either. But the relatives of those, and the situation that I'm just explaining to you, it's not unique to Town. Let us don't put that, please. It's not unique to Total. This thing happened all over Liberia, all over these little villages up in the countryside. A whole group of young people just wiped out. Where is the closure for these families? I have my cousin here, Harry Bible, is in the East Coast. I have my brother here, James K, here in the Bay Area. Harry and James used to exchange information almost weekly. Harry was so good at that. God bless him. That he used to compile lists and call James, say, so person died yesterday. But by the day over, he coming up with maybe 6, 7 names. And they will call us and let us know, oh, the person died, oh, that person died, oh, that person died. It was so bad during the barracks, siege of the barracks. Forget it. But the point is, those type of situations, they are not unique for people from Total. All over Monrovia, all over Liberia, people were dying. How do we get closure? Are we going to be satisfied with this war crime code that we all claiming for? If this thing comes to pass, are we going to be satisfied with the verdicts that are going to come out of there? Is that going to bring closure to us? Are we going to be satisfied to say, yes, I got what I want out of this as a victim? Or it's just going to open a wound and not be able to heal? So let's look at it. It's the government and those who are calling for this. And folks, I'm also one of those that are calling for this thing. So please don't say, oh, Sam, I'm just trying to put it out there. I'm trying to put something out there for us to look at. Because we're not bringing Sarah Lino to judge us. This is not Charles Taylor. These are Liberians being judged by Liberians. So I just told you what happened from folks from Total. So you select me to be on a jury with this kinds of mindset that I just told you. A whole group were wiped out from my town. What mindset do I have to judge somebody if I'm going to be on that jury? Now, I'm not saying that's what the process is going to be, but I'm just telling you. Who do you get to serve on a jury that will have a clean slate? That will not be tainted by past emotional involvement in the war. This is heavy. This is heavy, folks. Let me go ahead and open the line. And I would like for you to call and I would like for you to call and give me your view on this. Because, like I said, this is just something that we're not quite. I'm not too sure if we're ready. All right. So let me put the number up here. Okay, and then get out of this one. Let me get out of this. Just give me 1 or 2 minutes, please, folks. Let me get out of this and bring this one back on. All right. Give me a call, Samson to LeBron Public Radio, because I'm walking blind now. That's the number over there. Let me see if I can get back on here. That's the number over there, 916-533-20. Okay, I'm still on. All right, let's try that now. So give me a call and give me a view, please. Let's see. If we're not ready to discuss it, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine, but these things, we have to talk about them. We have to. Okay? We can't just wait and say, oh, yeah. Oh, but I'm satisfied with 18 percent. 18 people are doing, they didn't even do it correct. Yeah, that's the correct process we're trying to avoid. So people are not being accused, to be in the pocket of certain group. Oh, but I don't know. I do not let the man go. The man got money. He bribed the people. What do you think? The man was not going to find guilty. They were not going to find him guilty. The man, he fit in there. He get him back of rice. You see where I'm going with this, folks? So this is not something that we can just all sit back and say, yes, it's going to be fair process. I agree. But just remember our history. Liberian history. Remember that. We fought war. And there's a story out there where people used to be so brutal to each other. So brutal to each other. Like we're not Liberians. So I'm just telling you. So these are kinds of stuff that we need to take into consideration. All right? Give me a call, 916-533-2048. Okay, let me go on some more. I'm not going to be out here for long tonight, folks. That's for sure. But anyway, I thought that I put this out there. How do we, as people, how do we go about this? Who do we hire to be the prosecutor? Who among us that have clean hands in a messy, messy war? Are we going to hire international lawyers because perhaps they were not involved in a war, or they were not part of the war, or they just read about it and they didn't know anything about it, they were never affected? Are they kind of people we're going to bring in? Or we're going to go and get Liberians and say, okay, because here in this country, if you're going to have a jury trial, the jury, they got to ask you a question. And then, they say, oh, uncertified will answer you out. So are we going to have that kind of process? I don't know what process we're going to use. I don't know. And this is where I really expect those who are advocating, the true advocates of this wonderful, wonderful idea, to start the process of educating Liberians. Educate Liberians. Go to the small media, Facebook media, something, have conversation about it. People don't just sit down. Because if people do not have the knowledge, the rumors bell going to be ringing. If people do not have the credible information from those that are supposed to be trusted, and you wait until rumor bells start carrying the rumors, then you're going to be running behind rumors that perhaps are already taking root in the community. Let's start the process. Let's start the conversation. It's going to happen either way. It's going to happen. Whether during a CDC-led government administration time or next government, it's still going to happen. But my thing is, if it's going to happen, Liberia must be informed totally. Go from village to village. Inform the people of what the process is going to entail. What the result that people perhaps will be expecting. And you will find that out very quickly. In fact, if we're going to do this thing, are we going to put this whole process into referendum where people, Liberian people, will have to vote on it, or we're just going to leave it with the legislature to vote on this process and that becomes a law? How do we go about it? I don't know. Give me a call, 916-533-2048. Okay? The number is over there. So except if you don't have anything to say, that's okay. Okay? But this is, for me, this is a very interesting subject matter here this evening, folks. Let me just play a little music now. Don't disrespect me, though. Samson told LIBERIA Radio. So let's go on. Let's go on, folks. Give me a call here, 916-533-2048. The line is open. But anyway, let me go on as I'm about to wrap it up too as well. Anyway, but the point again tonight is this. I'm just throwing it out there. Don't think that I'm not in favor of it. Far from it. Far from it. But I know our people, Liberian people, when they're quick to make judgment, pass judgment quick. Oh, the guy kind of questioned it, man. Hey, man, want it, man? Why you asking all that question? No, far from it, folks. Far from it. Far from it. I'm also interested in getting justice. But if you get justice that is not right, then you just put it back into square one. Just from reading what I just told you about yesterday, it really, really got to me. There was a certain group that were arguing this gentleman committed crimes, kill people, kill Liberians, let's put it that way. And other people are saying, yeah, but he was defending us. So he's our hero, and he must be respected. And the other people are saying, oh, how shame, you guys ain't got no shame for it? The man killed Liberian, then he said he must be respected? He said, yeah. In fact, one guy wrote and said, where in the world that you will have a war and nobody die? It was very interesting. Do you really believe that the folks from Nima County will say, yes, you can't get Prince Johnson? Is that possible? It could be. It could be. But they have elected this man, what, 3 times now? Or 2 times, or whatever times? And Prince Johnson is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Not because he killed former President Doe or what have you, but we all know the kinds of killing Prince Johnson did. Somewhat live. There was this one guy that was handcuffed with there was this guy that was handcuffed with one Lebanese man, and Prince Johnson, according to the story, accused him of selling rice and shot him in the stomach. There's a video, there's a picture of that. Okay? So the point is, how do you get at this thing here? So why Prince Johnson come back and say, okay, I'm willing to go to the crime, but I'm gonna get a lawyer. And his argument becomes this. I didn't get up, folks. There was a guy 2 weeks ago. There was a guy, one of the guys that during the TRC time, they call him Kofi, General Kofi. He testified, and his testimony. I mean, from testifying, things he was saying, people were riveting to that, gluing to that program. But Prince Johnson comes out and say, yeah, I was involved. Yes, I did all you say that I did. But here is my reason. X, Y, Z, D. Do I say X, Y, Z, D? Okay, whatever. We'll go back. Okay. But when he laid out all his reasoning, who's going to judge him now? Are we as Liberians going to say, no, we ain't satisfied with that kind of answer you're giving? What is the limit? How many people you have to kill before you become grossly responsible? What if you just kill one person? One innocent person? How do you go about, folks? This is just I'm telling you. This is gonna be interesting. I hope Liberians are prepared for this thing, because the thing that's going to happen is you're going to make these people to live the war all over again, because you're going to bring these people on the board, they witness it. Say, okay, you say they meant this is the thing, this is the time. Come explain. What do you say happened? Then you asking that person to rack their brain to try to remember things they tried to forget years ago. Something that no human being should even remember. Now you're asking the person to recite those things. Do you have a medical facility that after this person is done traumatizing him, being traumatized again, do you have the medical facility to handle that person? Because now you're going to have mental issues. Do you have a psychologist? Do you have those type of facility? Do you have those kinds of tools to deal with the aftermath of this thing that we're all trying to get? Or you're going to say, oh, the man, yeah, well, yeah, you're on your own. Thank you for giving us the information. Thank you very much. We'll call you when we're ready. In the meantime, when the man leave that witness stand, he can't sleep at night because he's sweating. How do you deal with it? Do you have that kinds of facility to deal with that? So there's the person way up in the control. Samson told LeBron Public Radio, Mr. So, what's on your mind? Good evening. Thank you for calling. What's on your mind, sir?
Good evening, Samson. I've been monitoring extensively to your conversation or your presentation tonight. I think it's a very dedicated, high-profile issue. But let us also bear in mind Liberia is a sovereign nation, right?
Uh-huh.
And so Liberia has come away. It's a country of 172. I think other countries have done that. And I strongly believe once Liberia has come to the resolve, this is why the discussion is ongoing. You see, this whole thing too is also part of what you see unfolding in Liberia. For the most part, you see a lot of international aid being withheld. Is for people to be held accountable as well. People that die in the Liberian crisis, not just only Liberians, out of friendly governments, agency, people that went there, not just only in crossfire, but because of either of the factions just did not agree with them. Some of those people, citizens, they were killed brutally. And so this is not just only within Liberia. You may not know, I may not know, and other citizens that will not know, but there are some mounting pressures being faced by our own government with respect to people being heavily and politically rewarded after committing those gruesome crimes against state. But this is not going to be an overnighting. I believe there's going to be a process, like you alluded to. People will be calling to testify. It's not. It is the ordinary person getting down there and just going to say, okay, yeah, you're going to go to the hearing, you're going to be there. People will be given the opportunities, and people want to come forward to tell their story. You remember this guy, Congressman Donovan? He's one of the person that is pushing, not just only him, many other people. And this is something that has put Liberia on the edge. They said who? They said that. Well, this is what you see. Some level of momentum is going in that as compared to how it was in the past. So let us wait and see how it plays out. But I think to the large extent, Liberians need some answers. These people, they need to come out because some of them are still boastful of their hours. Some of them are still bragging of their hours. While it is true that their position might say 1 or 2% down the road, but at the time, be honest and come forward. It was war situation at the time. But you want to stand on that and pose yourself as a Goliath, and that you cannot be touched. No one, including the President of the Republic of Liberia, should be above the law if crime were committed. And that's why you see Taylor is being held in the Hague, not for Liberia, but the international community felt strongly that something he did was wrong, and he's still going through the process. Whether he's going to come back or not, that's yet to be determined. But I think it's important, Liberians are discussing this. People are speaking out their views, and it will serve as a future deterrent of people who wanted to get certain things done in the country. You will agree. Why it is true there was some sort of form of change needed, but I think this sort of change we didn't know, and everybody thought it was just going to be an overnight thing. It was a wrong one. A lot of lives, and especially lives, were destroyed in the process, and that's why people, I believe, are calling for some sort of questionings or accountability as well.
I see. So let me ask you that, Mr. So you're saying that the people have to account for whatever action that they have taken during the war. Who do you call?
it is not within my purview to call. When the court is established, alleged accusers, names to be called, people who acted, the images all over the place here, people who actively participated into the war. And that's where the testimony is going to come from. That's where people are going to come to testify. And that's where people are going to come forward with revelations of things that happen, things that they experience. And I believe that some of those people that will be accused, those are people still with in state powers and other places, and so they will be given their own opportunity at the end of the day to also give whatever justifications on the basis of which will led them to participate in the process. I believe there are 10 or 15 major counts that constitute a war crime that satisfy the court. It's not like ordinary way you and I or somebody out there think, yeah, okay, this person killed, so he needs to go. No, people are going to be giving a debate in court, and I think they will be fully represented. If at all you satisfy the international standard that calls for war crime against or of that person, whether it was a genocide that was committed, then of course I think that's going to apply. But it's not as it is people thinking it out there. So when war crime comes, then chaos going to break. No, I think that is serving as a deterrent that LIBERIA is a sovereign nation. LIBERIA is part of all international, if not all major of the international protocols, including the United Nations and all of these major organizations, international organs, that also have their own rules when it comes to people committing these sort of crimes and just walking away free and being heavily politically rewarded and in control of state powers.
Okay. Thank you. I know you calling in to express your own view, and I want to appreciate it and thank you very much for giving us the call this evening. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. Interestingly, just this news piece of news from Greater Liberia.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, some news coming from Greater Liberia. Why it is true this Pandora box of war crime and other things. 4 months of Jeremiah Salute is still, according to our link, there is considering 2020. He has not ruled out the possibility. He said he's still considering. He's still in a few of politics. So it's quite interesting. We're going to see a lot of things coming out in times to come. And so we're waiting to see exactly how that plays out. But there are other people who are making major political preparations with 2023 and so forth. And who knows, 2020 with the primary, the senatorial elections. Sources are telling us Jeremiah Salonte, Ambassador Salonte, is most likely will be taking a shot from Bon County.
For a senatorial position?
Yes.
I see. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for providing that news as well. We say we appreciate it. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Folks, that's the voice of Mr. Francis Yonso, who has just given us some more news here again this evening. It's a wonderful thing here, folks. We're going to go ahead and take leave of you here this evening, Monday afternoon, folks. We want to thank all of you again for tuning in to LIBERIA Public Radio. Basically, what we try to do here tonight is not to oppose anything, but it's good to bring these things out. How do we deal with it, and what are some of the things we're going to do? Why is certain members of the community, because of their wealth or because of their political clout, they decide to politicize this whole process? How do you deal with it? How do you talk to those who perhaps might want to do that? Folks, these are things that we need to have conversation about. Once again, I want to thank all of you again that tuned into LIBERIA Public Radio this afternoon. And we say thank you very much. Please stay safe out there. It's very important that you stay safe. Please do not drink and drive. Don't text and drive either, because these things don't go together. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful, wonderful Monday afternoon. Good night, folks.
kare matiki enana monyo kakora kanama ye kare matiki enana sono sere kanama pare bebi kuna inana pare waki kanama baye jibo basogo sagati ko pare monyo basogo basogo zakati ko pare munyo basogo tumo wana pare tumo wana orope ota singo tumo wana pare waki tumo wana moye bo pare kala Onana ayama lokolo mwane sikolo mwa yepoza ne kripu ya moreu lokolo toliye bolu suku suku ogere yo omo ya lokolo kete swolo idoro Angane